Coffee break. My boss is white. Most bosses are. And being white and curious, my boss keeps asking me just what does the Negro want. Yesterday, he tackled me during a coffee break talking about the Negro. He always says the Negro as if there were not 11 different kinds of Negroes in the USA. My boss says, now that you've all got the Civil Rights Bill and the Supreme Court and Adam Powell in Congress, Ralph Bunche in the United Nations, and Leontine Price singing in the Metropolitan Opera, plus Dr. Martin Luther King getting the Nobel Prize, what more do you want? I'm asking you, just what does the Negro want? I am not the Negro, I says. I am me. Well, you represent the Negro. I do not, I says. I represent my own self. Ralph Bunche represents you then, says my boss. And Thurgood Marshall and Martin Luther King, do they not? I am proud to be represented by such men, if you say they represent me. But I am all the men you named are way up there, and they do not drink beer in my bar. I have never seen a single one of them men in Lenox Avenue in my natural life. So far as I know, they don't even live in Harlem. I cannot find them in the telephone book. They all got private numbers. But since you say they represent the Negro, why don't you ask them what the Negro wants? I cannot get to them, says my boss. And neither can I. So we both is in the same boat. Well then, to come near home, says my boss, Roy Wilkins fights your battles, also James Farmer. They do not drink beer in my bar neither, I said. Don't Wilkins and Farmer live in Harlem? He asked. Not to my knowledge, I said. And I bet they have not been to the Apollo since Jackie Mabel cracked the first joke. I do not know him, says my boss. But I see Nipsey Russell and Bill Cosby on TV. Jackie Mabel is no him, I said. She is a she, better known as Moms. Oh, says my boss. And Mom Mabley has a story on one of her records about little Cindy Ella and the magic slippers going to the junior prom of the Ole Miss, which tells all about what the Negro wants. Well, what's this in conclusion? Asked my boss. When the clock strikes midnight, little Cindy Ella is dancing with the president of the Ku Klux Klan, says Moms. But at the stroke of 12, Cindy Ella turns back to her natural self, black, and her blonde wig turns to a stocking cap, and her trial comes up next week. A symbolic tale, says my boss, meaning I take it that the Negro is in jail, but you're not in jail. That's what you think, I said. Anyhow, you claim you are not the Negro, said my boss. I am not, I said. I am this Negro. Then what do you want? Asked my boss. To get out of jail, I said. What jail? The jail you got me in. Me, yells my boss. I've not got you in jail. Why, I like you. I'm a liberal. I voted for Kennedy and this time for Johnson. I believe in integration. Now that you got it, though, what more do you want? Reintegration, I said. Meaning by that what? That you be integrated with me, not me with you. Do you mean that I come and live in Harlem? Asked my boss. Never. I live in Harlem, I said. You're adjusted to it, said my boss. But there is so much crime in Harlem. There are no $200,000 bank robberies, though, I said, of which there were 3 lately elsewhere, all done by white folks, and now one in Harlem. The biggest and best crime is outside of Harlem. We never has no $500,000 jewelry robberies, no missing star sapphires. You better come uptown with me and reintegrate. Negroes are the ones who want to be integrated, said my boss, and white folks are the ones who do not want to be, I said. Up to a point we do, said my boss. That's what the Negro wants, to remove that point. The coffee break is over.